Hello, you lovely lot, and welcome back to another episode of Who Knew, a Doctor Who podcast. I am your host, as always, Josh Carr, and yet again, I have supplied the goods, and I have another wonderful guest for you. My guest today is, of course, a fan of Doctor Who. That's why we're here to talk.
Couldn't you tell? Gosh.
Couldn't you tell? But also a wonderful writer, as I very well know, as a writer on The Peculiar Adventures of Doctor Who, my upcoming audio series, and also the creator of a very, very exciting new project, which we'll get into. But it's the one, the only, Katherine Wheeler. How are you?
I am doing brilliantly. This is mega. I think I've been interviewed for a podcast once, but this is very exciting, and I'm here to ramble all you like.
Lovely. We love a rambler. I'm a rambler. You know, everyone's heard my links. They're very tenuous. I tend to ramble, so plenty more where that came from. But it's very exciting to have you here. I'm very, very excited because it means that, you know, not only do we get to talk about the exciting things that you're doing, I also get to talk a little bit about the audio series, which I'm really, really excited about, and it's my other love, that aside from Who Knew, that I'm working on. And we actually have exciting news which means that the listeners can get involved, so we can work it in. But let's start with you, Katherine. I can see from a rather large blue box behind you that you may be a fan of BBC Television's Doctor Who.
What's that? I've never heard of it.
Why? That's my question.
God, wow, that's a question.
Why are you a fan of Doctor Who?
I ask myself
why
that every single day when I choose to get up and clown for 24 hours.
The life of a Who fan.
Yeah. Why? Well, I guess because I've literally not known a time when I've not been a Doctor Who fan. I must have started watching the show back in either 2005 or 2006. But I genuinely don't know. I've tried to collect evidence. I've asked my parents. I've found Doctor Who magazines, and I've got some from series 3. And I'm like, so I must have been quite a big fan by series 3, but I've got absolutely no idea where it started.
That is strange. Not many people don't remember. But, I mean, obviously, I don't want to reveal your age if it's not something that you want to do. But I know your age, just it's in your bio on Twitter. But, so I don't know why you wouldn't want people to know. Are you 20? You're 20 years old.
I'm 20 right now, yes.
Okay, you're 20. So that only puts you at 3 when Rose airs. Oh my God, that's young. That's young for Autons and Cassandra and Slitheen. Yeah. That's a young age. So it's interesting that I find it fascinating when people have just always known Doctor Who their entire lives. It's strange, isn't it? Because
I remember the rewatch more than the first watch, because I think with some Doctor Who fans, you remember your first time watching the episode, or the first time you remember watching that episode. And I remember just watching the Doctor Dancers for the first time, and something just activated in my tiny little brain, and I realised I've seen this before, but it's hitting differently. So I knew there was something. I knew I'd seen it, but I hadn't really, taken it on board, if you if you can say that about Doctor Who.
Yeah. So was it from that very early age where you were sort of all in, or did that come later when you sort of became, in the fandom? I am an intense fan now,
I think I had quite an intense bit. Well, I think a lot of people I know had quite an intense thing about David Tennant and 10, and I had a David Tennant lunchbox and, you know, David Tennant bed sheets. And then around Matt Smith, I got into a very edgy phase where I pretended I didn't like the show. So I thought, I
went through that phase
cool
too.
for this. I hate Matt Smith, and I'd secretly go and watch it every Saturday. Really, really love it. But like this is the most intense it's ever been, and it started in 2017, the first episode of series 10. I don't know why. I don't know what did it, but since April 2017, it's been like a full-time job, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's mad, isn't it? It's mad how people just dip in and out. Like I went like a solid like 6 or 7 years of being like a pretty, like I was still a big Doctor Who fan, and like if anyone asked me stuff about Doctor Who, I hadn't watched Classic at this point, but like New Who, like I was still known by a few people as that guy who likes Doctor Who, the one Doctor Who guy. But I wasn't like this. Like I didn't have merch. I didn't have any like anything on my shelves. Like I'd get the odd thing here and there, and like I didn't read the books or like listen to Big Finish or anything like that. Like it was sort of just when the show's on, I watch it religiously. And I don't really remember watching episodes for the first time, like Matt Smith ones, that much.
Yeah.
Like I remember so strongly, like some like where I was when I was like watching some of Chris and David's episodes, and like I remember like all of the feelings and like how I like reacted to each episode. But half of like Smith and Capaldi is like a blur, and then series 11 hit, and I don't know, I was sort of pulled back in, and then lockdown just pulled me in even further.
Yeah.
I just went down the rabbit hole, and here we are.
Me too.
Yeah.
Here we all are.
Here we all are. But yeah, I love hearing people's stories about how they get into Doctor Who and like their sort of like key episodes and stuff like that growing up. But we'll get into a key episode later on when we hit the DVD collection. Let's talk about writing. I want to obviously. You're still very young, as I like to think I am also. But you are obviously a writer, and you are a no bias here at all. Even though you are one of my writers, you are a fantastic writer. You are absolutely brilliant. And I can safely say that because I finished reading one of your scripts yesterday. Was it yesterday? Or
I think
the
it was
day
yesterday.
before?
Not
Yeah.
sure.
I'm fresh off the back of your script, and it is marvellous. Were you one of those kids who has just always been writing stories and always been writing, or is that something quite recent for you?
Thank you for the glowing praise.
You're welcome. It's what I'm here for.
Yeah, I think I was one of those kids, but there was always something there that was like, I only do this like 3 times a week. I can't be a writer. So I've always been really pessimistic until like maybe 2 years ago, or even 1 year ago, that I could actually properly write. I used to write. Everyone said, it's still a bit of a taboo to say you wrote fan fiction back in the day, but I used to write the most awful Minecraft fan fiction you have ever seen.
Wow,
That
is not what I was expecting. I
No.
did not expect Minecraft to come out your mouth there, if I'm honest.
It's out in the open. I'd always like gone to town a bit, in primary school, where they're like, oh, write a story, and I'd be like, yes, and then their head got chopped off and then blah 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 blah. But I used to write really shocking, like my eyes are watering just thinking about shockingly bad Minecraft fan fiction. And from there, from realizing, having an epiphany in about, I don't know, age 12, that it was just awful. I thought, God, Catherine, you can do better than this.
I love that. Your self-evaluating stage and your big epiphany came at the age of 12 due to Minecraft fanfiction.
Yeah, and then I sort of looked at myself and went, okay, right. Let's take this just a step back. I stopped writing a lot for quite a while, and then I think, I don't know. It was about 4 years ago. I started thinking, well, I've been so pessimistic about writing all my life that no, this is just like something that I do. I can't do it. I thought, well, actually, I'm literally 18. I can do what the hell I want to do. So I realised that I wasn't, an old age pensioner, and I could shape my life however I wanted to, and decided to not write awful Minecraft fanfiction and get a bit more serious about it.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Around the age of 18, you start taking things a little bit more seriously. So I imagine the past couple of years have been a lot of intense, heavy writing. What is your favourite thing that you've written in the past 2 years?
Wow. Oh, that's quite...
It doesn't have to be limited to the past 2 years, because if it is one of the Minecraft fan fictions, that's fine.
You think I'm digging that out live on air?
Absolutely fine. No, go on. Give us a reading. I'll run some lines. I'm happy to do it.
Oh, God. The favourite thing I've done in the past 2 years, one of them, I'm going to be a bit, indecisive here and pick two. One of them is the piece I've done for the Zine, which I'm going to plug loads. But I wrote a piece for the Zine about the Master. Pretty much 90% of what I write is about the Master anyway. I can't say anything about it because it'd be a spoiler. But I think really recently, I've written some things I'm really proud of. The script you looked at being one of them, I was quite proud of that as well.
Oh, good, you should be, because it's brilliant. And
there's another, if you're talking finishings, there's another one that I've done for another fan series which will not be named because it hasn't come out yet, but it was my Paul Spragg entry last year. And the good thing about Paul Spragg entries is that you have this fully fleshed idea sitting there on paper, and you can just, take it and use it for something else. And I wrote this hugely kind of sinister, twisted little drama out of it. And I think I'll do the same for this year's Paul Spragg as well, because it's August 2nd and they haven't sent me an email.
Oh, no. I didn't enter this year. I didn't enter because I was like, look, I have 3 scripts to write. I have 2 scripts to write and 2 to co-write, and then a lot of other things to do for the audio series. And I don't want to distract from that because you guys put so much effort in, and I didn't want to distract from it. And also, I had no ideas. So I used up. This is what I keep finding as well. Like, I don't want to use up any ideas that could go towards the audio series because it's my baby. But yeah, I'm excited about what is to come with the zine. The zine is very, very exciting. So let's talk about it, because Around the World's Worst Planet in 77 Years. Tell us about it. Please delve deeper, and explain to the audience what they are missing out on if they haven't got a pre-order logged.
Okay. Well, I'm going to put my infomercial voice on. Around the World's Worst Planet, in Universe's Worst Planet in 77 Years. Get the title right, Catherine. Is a zine chronicling the Master's adventures on Earth during Spyfall Part 2. Because we've all watched the scene. It's a bit of a divisive scene, to say the least, where the Master gets left on Earth in Paris in 1943 and has to live through the decades until he meets the Doctor again. And I thought, God, there's this huge gap, just filled with, empty space. And what this scene does is try to fill that empty space. We've got sort of one author and one artist sort of assigned per decade. So you've got story all the way from the 40s all the way up to the 2020s and possibly a little bit beyond. Yes, I know. And what the aim is to make it like the best storybook you have ever seen. So we've put, stuff in there, when you open a fantasy book when you're a kid and it's got like all these story maps, it's got a dictionary in the back and you're like, what? It's real? We've just jammed it full of stuff. Like the Master has written in a diary and it spans 77 years and everything's done for it now. I can tell you it's bloody amazing.
I'm so excited. Excited.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you even come up with the idea? And where did the whole zine idea come from? Because, I'm going to be old granddad here. Firstly, I'm going to ask you one question very quickly before you answer those others. What is the difference between a magazine and a zine? What's the difference?
Okay, the difference between a magazine and a zine. A magazine's kind of like slightly removed from a newspaper. It gives you, it gives you news. It gives you, if it's Doctor Who magazine, for example, it's something that you might sit in a waiting room reading. Might be published by a proper company such as Panini. It's the difference between that and a zine is that a zine is pretty much always fan published by people who most likely aren't getting paid for being massive fans of this thing. Fan produced, fan published book can be anywhere from like 6 pages to this thick. Just the key difference being that it's from the fans instead of
that is for me the major selling point of most fan stuff. Is I just love seeing fans come together to create something mad, and like this genuinely sounds like so impressive and so exciting, and I am buzzing to get a copy. Like, I am really, really excited. It'll be my first ever zine, and it'll go right on this shelf, and it'll sit in the background of Who Knew forever. But I'm really, really excited. Are there any fun teases that you can drop? Give me. I'm gonna challenge you. Imagine you're doing a tweet. You've only got 4 pictures. Give me 4 out of context spoilers for the zine.
4.
Give me 4. Is that too many?
4. That's interesting.
I don't want to reveal too much.
I can do 4. I can do 4.
Go niche. Go niche as you like. And obscure as you like.
Oh God. first out of context one. This isn't niche, but I'd say dating crisis.
Nice.
Second one. Wall. Third one.
Whoa.
I'm trying.
Well, I said niche.
Third one.
Wall.
A third one. Anagram.
Okay.
Fourth one. Wilderness.
Oh.
Now,
Ooh.
those are four very niche, very sort of how the hell can you connect those? But you'll see exactly what I mean.
You can interpret a lot of those in different ways. If you say wilderness to a normal person, they just think you mean wilderness. If you say wilderness to a Doctor Who fan, they're thinking 90s.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. It's genuinely a really, really cool project. And like I said, the collaborative effort sounds so fun and so exciting, and I cannot wait to dive into it. Is this you done for zines, or is this something that you definitely want to do again in the future?
I definitely want to keep going forever, basically. I need something for the next zine. I need like a really, really good idea, and if I get a really, really good idea, I'll make another one, and I'll make another one and another one and another
Lovely.
one until I can't anymore. At the moment, there's one or two ideas, but there's nothing genius there yet. But wait for it, and it'll definitely come.
Good. I'm glad. I'm really, really excited, and we're gonna head to a short break in a second. But before we do, Peculiar Adventures. Very excited to have you on board. We mentioned it briefly before, but we can tease a few tidbits, can't
Definitely,
we?
Definitely,
we
yeah.
Tease a few things. You are writing episode 4 of the Peculiar Adventures of Doctor Who. What made you want to get involved? I'm intrigued.
I think it was just I really want to write, and I want to write Doctor Who, and I don't care what it's for. And secondly, I liked a lot that it was part of a series. Like, as a writer, you can get one-offs, and you do one-offs all of the time. But with this series, you've actually got stuff that's going on in the background, and you can sort of sew through all these character motivations, and you sort of start thinking, but would he do that? Would she do that? And then what happens later? Oh, could I foreshadow something? And then you go in the chat and you're like, guys, what's happening in yours?
This is what I've enjoyed about it so much, which I didn't really think about when I set it up, was this group chat we've got, of this little writer's room that we've got, is so fun. And you guys, my wonderful writers, and we'll shout them all out. I'm terrified that I'm going to miss a name now. But Alfie, Stephanie, Dom, oh God, Tom. This is just, I'm in podcast mode now. I have to shut my brain off from all of this. Tom, AJ, Sam, Joshua, and that is possibly everyone.
And you as well.
And me. Oh yeah, me as well. It's a lovely little writer's room, and you guys have inspired me more than anything else, because like you guys pitch in little ideas. Like, there's little things in my scripts that are not my idea. They have come from the group chat that like everyone else has just pitched in, and like there's things we've woven in, like and little bits of everyone's personalities, which I like, and like little nuggets of people's lives. Like we had a big chat about nicknames. I enjoyed that chat. That was a good chat. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to reveal too much, and I worry that you're looking at me as you say things like I'm some kind of Kevin Feige figure who's going to send suited men round to your house to, to beat you to a pulp. I'm not. Don't worry. They're on holiday at the moment.
Thank God.
But yeah, I'm very, very excited about it, and your story is absolutely phenomenal, as are the rest of the ones that I've read so far, and I'm sure that the others will be as well. Mine. Anyway, we're going to go for a very short break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about this lovely little DVD collection that I've got going, and we might be sticking another episode in there. I think we might. Should we?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. So we'll see you after the break. Welcome back to Who Knew, a Doctor Who podcast. I am still your host, Josh Carr, and I am still joined by the greatest Minecraft fan fiction writer of all time, Katherine Wheeler. That's your legacy now.
Thank
How
you,
do you feel?
everybody. Yeah,
that is
it's out in the world.
your legacy.
I mean, I needed some appreciation for the Minecraft fan fiction since nobody commented on it.
Is it still up? Is it still up there?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Oh, it is. It is. Okay, it is the mission of all listeners to find.
I mean, it's still up. It's a good luck finding the username, because I mean, it's been quite a while.
Well,
yeah.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see if anybody manages to find it. So, Katherine, we are here.
We are.
At the DVD collection.
By the power of Grayskull.
The Unicorn and the Wasp, or Love and Monsters?
Which one do you think I'll prefer?
No, I mean, which one do you want to watch first?
You are pulling my leg.
So, for anybody at home listening who isn't aware, you should be already. The DVD collection is a collection of stories submitted by my wonderful guests, Katherine being the next one, that sort of are quintessential Doctor Who. Well, it can be your favourite story, it can be a quintessential story, it can be a story that means a lot. But we've got a cacophony of good and slightly less good episodes in the DVD collection, but I love them all dearly. They all deserve their place. Katherine, would you like to inform me what episode will be joining them?
I agonised over this for quite a while, and I thought, well, there's two episodes, really only two episodes it could possibly be. The one I didn't choose was Castrovalva. That's been, a bit of a spicy pick there. And you will never know why. And the one I've gone for is, and I thought, come on, I have to, is Spyfall.
It's Spyfall.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. And that,
because
we've got to ring the sirens. It's Jodie's first episode in the Corridor of Fame. Not the Corridor of Fame, the DVD collection. Get your own names right, Josh. The DVD collection. Way! I've been waiting ages for a Jodie story to go in. I've been really, really excited for it because I feel bad that I feel like she's sort of, lost because she's still on and people don't remember her episodes with nostalgia and things, so she doesn't get picked as often. But that's wonderful. Please, I mean, we've just spoken about the fact that you've written an entire zine about the Sacha Dhawan Master, so I think we can understand one reason why you picked it. Why does Spyfall resonate with you so much?
Well, it's not my favourite episode of all time, and it's not quite a few people's favourite episode of all time. It's not perfect, but it's a Doctor Who episode. It's, what every episode of Doctor Who should be. Slightly cringeworthy, but still entertaining. Has, gets your heart rate going at random points. Has Lenny Henry saying "plain thieves" in it. I mean, Spyfall has everything. Most importantly, it has Lenny Henry. But Spyfall is my pick for the DVD collection because
Spyfall's a good pick. It's a very good pick.
Yes. It has this is going to come as a shock to no one ever. It has the introduction of Sacha Dhawan's Master, and that is what makes it absolutely worthy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great introduction. You've got, I feel like, you can overanalyze it all you like. When that reveal happened, I jumped out of my seat and I ran around the house. I ran out of the room, just going, oh my god, 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 oh what? And it's so fun. It's like you said. It's not a perfect episode. I don't think there's many perfect Doctor Who episodes, to be honest. But it is a good laugh. It is a good laugh. Even its shortfalls, like Plain Thieves, make me laugh. Yeah.
Come on.
And it's got that strange distinction of being a two-parter, but both parts the same name. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's a strange thing. What I also, Spyfall is not the best James Bond pun you could have done.
No.
There's so many others.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of any now. I don't know enough about James Bond. If you were gonna rename it, if you're gonna rename Spyfall,
oh no! Don't put this one on me.
I'm putting it on you now.
No.
This is on you. This is all you. You brought Spyfall. You got to deal with the consequences.
The plane of the Master. The Eiffel Tower of the Master.
The Plain Thieves of the Master.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a better title. There we go.
We've never had an Of the Master. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Spyfall's in. Jodie's got an episode, and now I've collated a handy little spreadsheet so that I can keep track now, because I feel like I flounder on this every episode on how many each Doctor has. And poor Colin.
Oh no.
I mean, he's not alone, because Jo Martin's not in. She has only got like 3 appearances. John Hurt's not in, but he has only got 2 appearances. And McGann's not in, but he has only got 2 appearances.
There we go.
Colin, you will get in there at some point.
I'm so sorry, mate.
I will make it my personal mission to bribe someone to put Time Lap in at some point. But Spyfall's in. I'm really excited now. I'm so glad there's a Jodie episode in. It's not the one I would have picked, personally, but I'm happy. I'm very happy. And yeah, you're right. Lenny Henry's a great shout for a guest star, really, isn't he?
He is.
He's good fun. I wish he came back. He definitely should have come back later in the series.
The return of Four. That's the centenary.
He doesn't he just walk off?
Yeah.
Does he just walk off? Does he just leave?
I think so. I've got no idea.
Leaves. I mean, maybe it's explored in the zine.
Lenny Henry, The Wilderness Years. Sorry, but not Lenny
is it?
Henry. His
It's not.
character. I just call it. I don't even use the name of his character anymore. It's
I can't even remember
Lenny
what he's
Henry. Lenny Henry set up for Lenny Henry for takes in Vor.
Oh,
Sorry, Lenny Henry.
wow. But yes, very fitting that as you are about to expand on this episode like no one has before, and you are definitely jumping in front of Big Finish, which I love, that you've picked this episode. Very, very good. Very good. Now, there's a noise. I can hear a noise. It's an angry Scottish detective storming into a police station, and he's about to say, "Bloody Twitter."
For God's sake! Bloody Twitter!
There's one of those dreadful links that I
Good
was telling you
segue.
about. It's an awful segue. Please don't. Please.
Okay.
They're awful. I really need to work on my segues. But hello, it's Bloody Twitter. This is the part where you all ask questions and I ask them on your behalf and Kat answers them, and then we all have a good time. So, question number 1 comes from Oscar Groucho's. Are you ready? Because you're going to get grilled. There's some big questions here.
Okay.
Big questions. Now, this one, I wanted to ask because the second half of it's very good, but I didn't want to leave the first part out. But I don't like the first part because it involves talking about myself. What qualities does Josh bring to his role as showrunner? And what ethos of his vision of Doctor Who do you think parallels previous incumbents of the role? You have greatly overestimated me, my friend, but please try and answer that question in a way that feel free to be as honest as you want.
I had a sneak peek at the questions. I don't know if that's even
You
allowed.
can't do that. No, it's not allowed.
I thought let's think about this. So I thought about it, and the first thing I would say is Josh has thought about season 2 since the very beginning of season 1, and it's very enjoyable. And everyone's like, "Ooh, what if we put that in season 2? That's going in season 2. The arc's going to go into season 2,
And 3.
and 3, and 4, and 4.5, and
Wow,
and
we'll
beyond.
slow down at 4, but definitely I have a plan. I've had a plan
Yep.
from the beginning. I never said it was good. I just said I have a plan. Whether the plan is any good does not rely on me.
Okay.
I am piggybacking off much more wonderful writers than myself and getting them to realise my daft thoughts.
See, I was gonna say Moffat at the start, but now you've convinced me. You're Chris Chibnall.
I'm Chibs. I'm Chibbers.
You're Chibnall. You're Chivers.
Anyway, let's move on from that. The bonus question. This is the one that I liked. If you could script Jodie's final line, what would it be and why?
God, oh God, that's impossible. Just a scream of A's, because I mean it hurts. Whatever's I mean, you would be a bit distressed. You'd probably scream. You'd probably go
What if it's what if it's the Yaz that we hear in the trailer?
Ooh.
Crying out Yaz.
I'm not a fan of that.
I don't think it is. Bit too sad.
A little little bit, but I want death and destruction.
You just want everyone to die, basically.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Everyone who can die should die. Is my
So maybe Jodie's last line is, "I can't believe everybody's dead."
or not again, or Jesus Christ, or
Oh no.
fuck's sake.
Everyone's dead. It's time to be the Time Lord victorious again. That's her final line.
And then Big Finish go away.
Yay!
There we go. Yeah.
It paid off. That Brian the Ood story on a t-shirt paid off, guys.
It did.
Next question is from Cal, a very regular listener, supporter of the Patreon. If you want to help out the
I
pod.
love Cal. Thank you,
Cal's
Cal.
great. Cal is great. At generic_tweeted on Twitter. They've said, I'd be remiss not to try and coax this out of you, but what is an out of context spoiler for your episode of The Peculiar Adventures of Doctor Who?
Ooh. Okay, I did think about this a little bit. This is gonna sound a little outrageous, but
It's going to be hilarious if I don't understand it.
the
That's
word
it.
cancelled.
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 Yeah.
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 You're gonna get. We're all gonna get cancelled. No. Yeah, that works. I like it. See, there you go. There's your out of context spoiler. And Cal's next question. A lot of cheeky two questioners this week. I don't know who's been playing with the rules here. It's all because you read the questions. Everything's gone into chaos now.
God's sake.
What has been the most difficult part about putting together the zines? And that this has been asked by a couple of people actually. I didn't get the names of who else asked it, but this is for you guys as well. So
Trickiest. I was thinking about this one as well. There's virtually no tricky part because I love all of it. All I'm thinking about morning, afternoon, and night is zine. But if there was a tricky part, it would be the very start of it, because you have to. Not only it's not a one person project. Like, I could call it my zine what I like, but there are people working their asses off as alongside me for a really good zine. And the most difficult bit is getting people on board, getting people, knowing what they're doing. People need to be excited about the idea, otherwise they're kind of like, oh, I'm doing this project, but so I had the idea. I then thought, I'm gonna have to put the word out on Twitter about this and get people to join in, and I got enough people, but it was not a strain, but I had to really, encapsulate what it was about basically in a tweet, so people could go, oh yeah, okay, cool, I want to do that, and the rest is just pure joy. I have had so much fun and will continue to have so much fun.
This is another reason why I'm so excited about it. Is like I could just feel the energy coming off you and the excitement and like the pure just buzz of like, you can tell that this is just all you're thinking about, and that just makes me want to read it so much more. And I can't wait. I'm really, really excited. Next question is from Jack, _awful_Jack, the host of An Awful Lot of Running podcast, very dear friend of the show, who's made some very exciting announcements recently. Go on his Twitter and check them out, about D&D, which I do not understand. That is a whole other world
Me
to me.
neither.
But maybe I'll dip in. Maybe I'll dip in and I'll try and understand. But Jack has asked. He's actually said, first of all, amazing guest. Kat is one of the loveliest and most wonderful people in this fandom. Which is a lovely thing to say.
Aww.
Jack is
Thanks,
a
Jack.
lovely little fella. Little fella. What? How patronising is that? Sorry, Jack. Bearing in mind that he's like 6 years older than me. I'm so sorry, Jack, to call you a little fella, like you're a minion. Sorry, apologies. He said this hunk of a man said, I first came across you on TikTok, and I still adore your videos. Me too. What Doctor, fan, or official would you sell your Dewan Master cosplay to be able to write for?
Ooh.
So the
See-
cosplay is gone for one Doctor, and you can write one story for that one Doctor. And it's okay if you want to say none.
I was gonna say none,
Really?
but I no. I'm gonna be realistic about it. I would throw my cosplay away to write for.
You did say
Not
you
my-
can sell it. You can sell it, so you get the money as well.
Oh yeah, that would be a boost. Actually, that'd be quite nice. I wouldn't write for 12, who's my favourite Doctor, because I feel like I'd sort of be infringing on perfection, if you know what I mean. Like his era's there and it's complete, and I love
I'm sure
it.
that you could write for 12, but
I have written for 12.
understand what you mean, because it
yes.
scares me. Looking at 12, I'm like, how do I write you? I don't understand.
I'm gonna be, very up to date and say that I would write for 13, because I feel like 13 is sort of like, it's an ongoing, my relationship with 13 as a character is up and down. It's rocky. She's not my favourite. Sometimes I love her, sometimes I hate her, and I feel like there's so much there that I can and do say, oh, what if this was, carried on in this way, and so it would be 13, and it would be, I'd make her, not evil, but a bit of a bastard.
Yeah. This is what I like there. I feel the same way, because when I look at like writing for Doctors, like they're the ones that jump out to me, like 13, 6. Like I look at Doctors like 9, 8. I think Doctors with untapped potential. I don't know why I said 8 there. I think all of the potential that
It's
could
been
happen with
tapped
8
out
has
of him.
already been done.
It's gone.
I was thinking on screen, but yeah, like I feel like the 13th Doctor has so much untapped potential as a character, and so many different avenues that you could go with it, because also like the idea of a female Doctor is just like an entire new sandbox to play with when you're making a character that is and this is something that I've noticed as well, like that I wish that they tapped into a little bit more, that you never seem to get these kinds of characters, these like 1,000-plus-year-old godlike characters who are female. They always seem to, like everyone that I think of, like even weird ones like Yoda in Star Wars, or I'm thinking like the main characters in Good Omens, I'm thinking it like other things like that, where it's dealing with sort of that god complex type character of they've lived for so long. You never see that from a female standpoint, and that really intrigues me. And I'd love to see a little bit more of that from the 13th Doctor. I think there's so many things that you could do with her, and it's the same with most Doctors, but I feel like her especially.
Yeah.
It's not like I look at her and I'm like, I can fix you.
Yeah.
But like, I just think, oh, there's some really interesting things that they didn't do, which is fine. You know, you can't do everything, but you know, I just think there's some cool ideas there.
And really
so
good
13,
gaps as well.
There are good gaps. There are good gaps. I feel like New Who's been very good for just giving us big chunks that we can play with. Like, just, I mean, there's surely like hundreds of years of Capaldi that have just never been explored. And
Exactly.
Matt Smith's got like 2,000 years of ridiculousness of just fucking around the universe, basically. But yeah, great question. Very, very good question. Reese Dell, another one of our wonderful patrons, at Reese with a 5 and Dell with a 3. You decide where they go. I know you'll probably get this one a lot, and we did get this a couple of times. Again, I didn't get the names of the other people, but this is for you. Who is your dream master casting?
Yeah, this was the question I thought longest and hardest about. And after a day staring at the question on my phone, I haven't got a good answer, because Sacha Dhawan is my dream master casting.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely.
And I want him to become the Anthony Ainley of New Who, and he needs to stay as long as he physically can until, you know, he doesn't want to.
I would love him to stay around. Definitely. I'd be really, really excited. I think I did a whole thread on dream master castings a while back, and you know what? I'm really, really sad because unfortunately one of them has passed away. And it was Helen McCrory. I would have loved to have seen Helen McCrory as the master. She would have been amazing. And I can't think of any of the others off the top of my head. There were some weird pics on there. I'll have to try
There was
and dig
some
that out and
one
share.
going around. Gillian Anderson has been going around recently, but I don't get it.
Really?
I can see where people are coming from, but she doesn't give me master vibes. Like, she'd do so well as a villain in Doctor Who.
Now,
But yeah,
we can't. I can't say anything out loud, but
oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I know exactly. Yeah,
she'd be great. She
Let's
would
just,
be
you know.
so good. Well, yeah, we'll try. We'll
we'll
try. I'll hit her up. That made no sense to anyone listening at home. It will do when you hear episode 4 of The Peculiar Adventures of Doctor Who, and you'll understand who we're talking about and why Gillian Anderson would work. But yeah, can I get Gillian Anderson's number? No, I probably can't.
Probably not.
The final question that we have is from Anna at Pale Blue Box. They've said, if you could write one line of dialogue between the 13th Doctor and the Sacha Dhawan Master, what would it be? They're making you do a lot of writing, the listeners tonight, which I like. But if you could have, let's just like one, it doesn't have to be specific dialogue. If you want to just picture a scene that you would want to see in the centenary between the 13th Doctor and the Master, what would you want?
Well, if I could pick any scene, oh my god. The scene I would choose would be a body swap. Because how fun, especially now, especially after series 12, how fun would a body swap be? That would be insane.
So fun.
That is
the perfect Doctor Master combination as well, because a lot of the New Who ones, they're sort of echoes of the Doctor, so a body swap doesn't really work because they sort of would just end up being quite similar. But I feel like Jodie and Sacha are sort of polar opposites,
Yeah.
And, you know, just imagine Sasha doing that Yorkshire accent.
I know. The line, and I think Anna already knows what I'm gonna say. The line, and this is gonna expose me for who I truly am, is "I love you." Because
who
yeah.
to who?
Oh, it would have to be the master.
Is it reciprocated?
The master to the Doctor. You see, it is, in my opinion, but she wouldn't say it back.
No.
No.
I could see like a proper unhinged moment, like Dewan Master, like hands around Jodie's neck or gun to her head.
Yeah.
And the last words that he says are, "I love you." Oh. Love that.
Oh, I would kill to have that in the centenary.
Oh my god!
I mean, it's already filmed now.
Amazing.
They can't go
It's
back.
done. You can go and make changes. You can convince Chris, definitely.
I'll not. Yeah.
If not,
Give me a
you're
ring.
just gonna have to try and convince me to get that into the Peculiar Adventures somehow. Yeah, we're just dealing with a different Doctor for an episode for Kat.
Yeah.
It's just for Kat.
Thank you.
So that was bloody Twitter. Thank you everybody who submitted questions. I'm sorry that we didn't get around to them all, but there was a lot, and they were all brilliant questions. Love them all, and love you all too. So we are sadly getting closer and closer to the end of the show, which is very sad because I'm having a wonderful time. But we all know what's coming next. It's a lovely stroll. Get your carpet slippers on. Get your house coat on, and maybe a pipe, and take a little stroll down the corridor of fame.
Have you ever been limited by who you were before?
One day, I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back.
Our lives are different to anybody else's. That's the exciting thing.
Sarah Jane? Do I have the right?
Some people, small, beautiful events is what life is all about.
An anniversary compared to us. 10 million years of absolute power. That's what it takes to be really
Every great decision creates ripples. Like a huge boulder dropped in a lake.
But it was a childish dream that made you a doctor. You dreamt you could
No more.
I'm not just the time. I'm the last of the time.
It just disappears, doesn't it? Everything you are gone in a moment, like breath on a mirror.
I do what I do because it's right. Because it's decent. And above all, it's kind.
Love abides in the face of everything.
So the Corridor of Fame, for people who don't know, 1, where have you been? 2, it's a collection of wonderful people from in and around the world of Doctor Who that have been chosen by my brilliant guests. There's some amazing names on the list. We've had some corkers this series, and I'm sure today will be no different. So, Katherine, please inform me. Who would you like to submit to the Corridor of Fame?
I would like to submit the brilliant, absolutely masterful Matthew Sweet to the Corridor of Fame.
Oh, lovely.
yeah.
Matthew Sweet.
Mm.
I saw Matthew Sweet the other day at the BFI and I was too nervous to go and say hello.
Yeah, I did as well.
A wonderful, wonderful person that I sort of only really know through like the DVD extras, the wonderful interviews that he's done, and some articles that he's done. I know that he did I think he did one about the Doctor Who Dalek films recently from the BFI screening, which I was very excited to read more about. Why Matthew Sweet? Why have you chosen Matthew Sweet?
I've made both my DVD collection and Corridor of Fame a bit linked, because Matthew Sweet is an all-round really cool guy. Like, I've thought he was cool for absolutely ages, but the reason I put him in the Corridor of Fame is because he has written the only piece of Dewan Master extended media, and that is the Master and Margarita in the book Master Tales of a Renegade Time Lord, and it is 10 out of 10. It is, I can't find a flaw in it. It's a beautiful example of how to write a short story. I think I got it as soon as I got it. I sort of laid down in bed and just wiped it out all in one go. And at some points, I mean, I was crying, like, and I thought, why am I crying? It's so well written. But he just gets it. And like, without Matthew Sweet's story in this book of the Master, one of the stories in the zine would not exist. Is one of the reasons. Secondly, because he's a beautiful writer. Thirdly, because he does all this other stuff, like you see it sitting down with Michael Grade, for example. What a guy!
Yes,
what a brave man!
Yeah, what a brave man. Matthew Sweet is someone that I have longed to have on the podcast for a while. I think he'd be absolutely brilliant coming on here. Although I'd be absolutely terrified because interviewing such a good interviewer is very daunting. It's like a doctor performing surgery on another doctor. And I'm basically a trainee at this point compared to the great Matthew Sweet, and I would crumble in a room with Michael Grade. I'd either crumble or I'd just swear at him, probably.
You'd be like, I couldn't last.
Yeah,
that's all. I
feel like any Doctor Who fan, when they're in a room with Michael Grade, gets similar symptoms to vampires in the sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
I think skin starts to burn. There's a lot of hissing involved.
Yeah.
Recoiling in fear. And most of that is just because he's a Tory. Anyway, Matthew Sweet is a very sweet pick. Oh, what are you doing, Josh? Sorry, it's a great pick. And I'm very, very glad that he's in. And long may his wonderful interviews continue, and all of these other wonderful things that he does for the Doctor Who community, and all of this incredible information that he shares. And also, I need to check out that Master story as well. What book is it in again? Sorry, it was...
Well, I brought it with me today.
Oh, here is one she prepared earlier. I love this. This is like Blue Peter in its prime.
Wherever I am in the room, I always have a copy of that. It's the book I Am the Master, Tales of a Renegade Time Lord, and if you flick to let's see where we are. There's stories from quite a few authors in here, but you flick to about 2/3 through the book, and you've got this absolutely perfect chunk of writing at the back here, and it's 100+ words of perfection. And I'm gonna
buy it. I'm gonna buy it now.
You should.
It's gonna live on this shelf. This is what I like doing. I like collecting little odd bits from my various guests and people from the DVD collection and the Corridor of Fame and things like that. So I will make sure that at some point that, along with the zine, is a fixture on the shelf.
Nice.
And that very, very sadly brings us to pretty much the end of the show. Any regular listeners will know there is one question remaining. The question to end all questions. No, it's not Doctor Who. It is, Katherine, in a sentence, what does Doctor Who mean to you?
Oh my god. A sentence. One single sentence.
It's tough, isn't it? I mean, not many people do it in a sentence, so feel free to play fast and loose with that.
I'm thinking about it, and I could say many sentences that were obsessive and concerning. A full-time day job, but fun.
It sums it up, doesn't it? Like, I think about Doctor Who more than, I can't say more than anything else because Jess will probably kill me. More than anything else but Jess and my cat.
Yeah.
Doctor Who is like third. It is a full-time job, isn't it? Like being a Doctor Who
fan. It is. Yeah.
And it has all the highs and lows of a job as well.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster, but I love it. And wonderful answer. Wonderful. It has been an absolute pleasure having you on. And I want to say to everybody at home, whenever Kat releases anything, and I mean anything, even if it's the Minecraft fanfiction, read it, because it is bound to be absolutely fantastic. There's stuff that we haven't even touched on, because I know you've got a very exciting audio project of your own that is coming out very soon. And, you know, I want to give you time to plug that in a moment. But I just want to say, as someone who is working with Katherine on a very close basis in terms of writing and producing the audio series that we're working on at the minute, it's so exciting to work with people like you who are so full of passion and so excited about writing for Doctor Who, and are just so on board with these daft ideas that I have and these really hard and difficult rules that I set in place for your scripts as well. And I just worry that sometimes that I make things 10 times harder for you all, but you all rise to the challenge, and you have written a really, really good episode of Doctor Who, and I can't wait for people to hear it. So very exciting. Please now take the floor and plug whatever you want to plug.
Plug whatever I want to plug. The main thing I want to plug is the zine, because that is available to pre-order now until August the 25th. No idea when it's going to come out, but if there's enough demand for it, we might even open it for a second round. The other thing I want to plug is
nice.
I've been working on a fan audio series called Doctor Who Reveries. And you might be thinking, Katherine, there are so many fan audio series, why is this one special? Because this fan audio series is not only amazing, I would be amiss to say it wasn't amazing, but it's been created essentially by a union of fans. Everyone is working on something that they're good at to make this sort of beautiful, fully formed series of audios. We've got no idea when it's going to be releasing, but check your Twitter, Doctor Who Reveries, you'll see it very soon.
Yes, and I will be retweeting it all over the place. And if you want to pre-order the zine, go to your Twitter. Is that correct? And there's also a zine Twitter as well. Is it 77 Zine? Is that the Twitter
77
account?
Years Zine is the Twitter account.
That's the one. And I will put all of the links in the description to Kat's Twitter, the Zine Twitter, the Zine pre-orders, Reveries, everything. It'll all be down below. So if you want to check it out, please do, because it's all going to be fantastic and I'm so excited for it. Another thing that I have to mention, as this goes live, a casting call for the Peculiar Adventures of Doctor Who will be live, and oh mama, it's a big one. There is over 60 roles on this casting call to be cast, because we are doing 12 standard length of New Who episodes of Doctor Who, and that's a lot of characters. So the aim is very much in the same vein that Kat was saying with Reveries there, is to have all of the fandom unite, and not all of them, you know, dickheads aren't welcome, but you know, to have Doctor Who fans unite and to show that there is so much talent in this fandom that is untapped and needs a space to be shown. So if you want to become a voice actor, if you want to try it for fun, if you just want to get involved for the sake of it, if you've never done any voice acting before, please audition. Please send me an audition tape. I want as many as possible. I want my emails to drown. Like I want to drown in emails, please, because I love listening to people's auditions and people's interpretations of the characters that we've created. And you know, Kat's characters are in there, my characters, the characters of all the other writers, and we love all of our characters and we want the best actors for them. So as many people as possible, please. And you know, it doesn't matter how much experience you've got, and if you're scared and if you're nervous, just do it, please, because I promise you something good could really come out of this. And even if it's not this time round, there's going to be more roles and more things to get involved in the future. So the link to that will also be in the description. And you've been listening to Who Knew, a Doctor Who podcast. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts, and on YouTube, where you can watch full video versions like this one if you're watching it on YouTube. You can find us on Twitter at whoknewdwpod. You can find me on Twitter at Josh Ryan Carr. That's where all the news about Who Knew and the audio series will be dropping. And you can also subscribe on Patreon to support the podcast. It's difficult times, so I've tried to make it as cheap as possible with as many benefits as possible, so that, you know, it's a nice balance of supporting the pod, but, you know, you're not forking out a lot of money. So you can get involved for £1 a month, and you can get early access to content and loads of other goodies and things like that. So please consider it if you can, and you can even get discounts off merch, because you can get a Who Knew t-shirt, which I need to do. I don't even own one myself, which is shameful.
Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. I can't afford my own merch, which is hilarious. But it has been an absolute joy talking to you, Catherine. Thank you for coming on. It's been so fun, and I can't wait to see the zine and everything that you're working on, because it's so exciting. You are the busiest person in the fandom.
Yeah.
But
it's been a joy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you to everybody at home. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Massive thank you to all of our patrons, and especially Cal King. If you want to become a patron, you can join for as low as £1 a month and get loads of benefits and support the pod. Check out the link in the description.
Thanks for listening to Who Knew, a Doctor Who podcast. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts and now on YouTube. Please subscribe and leave us a review wherever you can, as it really helps us out. And a massive thanks to the Sononauts for lending their cover of the Doctor Who theme to be the theme for the podcast.